Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 9, 2009 series comic review. Now, as you know, the 2009 Ultimate Spider-Man series was a short-lived relaunch of the Ultimate Spider-Man series that ran for a few issues before returning back to its original numbering, leading up to the events of the death of Spider-Man. So keep in mind that this is meant to take place sometime 6 months after Ultimatum, where we kind of see how characters deal with the after effects, changes, and everything that happened after the Ultimatum. And we see how Peter now works in a fast food joint after what happened to the Daily Bugle, and he says, "Do you want fries with that?" And we kind of see how a lady kind of starts acting over the top and even thinking that Peter's given her lip, and we see how the manager tries to calm her down. And of course, this is where we see the manager saying, "Peter, I didn't do anything. Peter, I didn't do anything. You listen to me. Customer relations isn't the most important. You warned." "I'm warned?" "There's 100 kids looking to take your job. And where's your hat?" And we kind of see him working at a fast food joint called Burger Frog. And of course, we kind of see how New York has slowly recovered after what happened with the Ultimatum, and characters slowly rebuilding their lives. We see how later in the night, a small convenience store gets robbed, and we see how some masked goons try to steal what they can, and we see that they are confronted by Shroud. And fun fact, Shroud is actually Kitty Pryde, being her own vigilante. And we see him saying, "Up you! Like I said, idiots. Yeah, so now what?" And we see basically Shroud taking down the goons and that. And after confronting one of them, leaves before he says, "You okay?" And we kind of see how Spider-Man meets the cashier, who sees if he's okay, saying, "Are you, what happened? Oh my god, I can't believe this! I can't believe it, oh man. Did you crash in on purpose, or uh-oh?" And of course, we see how the police are honoured to meet Spider-Man, given the fact that, yeah, he's now a hero after the events of Ultimatum, and he's now respected and approved of. And of course, we see how Peter ends up going back home and meets Gwen Stacy. Now, fun fact, this Gwen Stacy's not the real one, but more like a Carnage separate clone. And we kind of see how Peter and Gwen are still together now, and yeah, we kind of see how they kind of get all romantic. And we see Aunt May saying, "Peter! Gwen, is Peter home?" And of course, we kind of see how, yeah, during the events of the Ultimate Clone Saga, Aunt May now knows Peter is Spider-Man, and basically supports what Peter does. And we see how Peter and MJ are still trying to work things out, and Gwen trying to get Peter to see reason. We see that Peter hearing a knock, who's actually Ultimate Johnny Storm. Now, fun fact, after the events of Ultimatum, we saw how Johnny Storm's father tragically died in the Ultimatum, and went on a long journey to find himself again, and decides to crash in at Peter's house after what happened to the Baxter building. We also see how later in the night, Kingpin is now back on the streets after what happened to the Ultimatum, after what happened to the courthouse, the evidence, and everything else. And that happened during the Ultimate Night story, where Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, and all that try to take him down. And we see them saying, "Oh man, hey boss, it's so good you're back, seriously. If there is any, give me the room." And we kind of see him hearing a voice saying, "You've waited a long time for this, huh? I told you I wanted the... Who are you now? I'm actually a big fan of yours, but you came back at a bad time. and we see how Wilson Fisk gets blasted and ends up getting killed, and turns out the person is actually Mysterio. And if you've read Spider-Man, this is actually Mysterio from the main Marvel universe. So obviously showing that, yeah, after what happened with his main Marvel's adventures, you can tell Mysterio is trying to take over New York and have his own sort of territory in another dimension. And yeah, this is the story. So I think the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man in the 2009 run is definitely good, but yeah, you can kind of tell there was reasons, I think, why they went back to its original numbering. I think after what happened at Ultimatum and half the characters getting killed off, really there was nothing I think else Bendis could have done. I think having Miles Morales made sense, because one, there's a lot more you can do with a newer, different, and fresher Spider-Man, and I think Peter's stories in the Ultimate Spider-Man series had just reached its peak, and there was nothing else they could have done. So I think the story still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.